My name is Cynthia Campbell. I know Narette from Business Women's Network of Howard County. That's how we got to know each other. I am a teacher in the Anne Arundel County school system. I teach ESOL, English to kids who come from other countries. And that keeps me really busy. I live with my husband in Colombia, and I have a lot of wonderful nieces and nephews, and some wonderful great nieces and a great nephew that that are part of my why. Being there for my family and being more present for my family. So being at my physical best, as best as I can be for my family as I'm getting older. So especially for the young ones, I want to be able to do things like take them to a water park and do certain things, teach them paddleboarding later on. And, I have to be in decent shape in order to be able to do those things. I'm getting a little older and I'm going to hit a significant birthday next year. And I've also hit a certain weight that was a weight I never saw see. And so that kind of like, oh, I need to do something because what I've been doing or trying not doing has not been working. So that's why I reached out to you. And after speaking with you, you were a really good listener and really understood where I was coming from because I pretty much laid things on the table and you didn't shy away from that and seemed to have a balanced approach. It's not like hardcore boot camp, not that those things are bad. It was really looking at nutrition and figuring out a good way of tracking what I'm eating and also a a reasonable workout plan that can be done that I usually get done in the morning before I go to work. So, I mean, these are all accomplishable things, not an overwhelming workout routine, not a super restrictive, crazy diet plan that's not sustainable. And also, you focused on mindset and kind of thinking about how we talk to each other, talk to ourselves, and how we think about what we're doing. I kind of thought that you might be because you tend to be cheerful and perky a lot. And so I thought, okay, this is going to be someone who's kind of, she's going to be telling me what to do and cheering me along as I am doing 100 push-ups or whatever it is. And just kind of a little bit of a taskmaster. The truth is I was a little worried that it would be kind of a lot of rah-rah stuff. And I wasn't sure that I would be able to stick with it. With the program that we've been working on with the two, we work with two apps, and one of them is tracking our weight, our measurements, and our workouts, and the other one, which integrates with the first app, is tracking the food, what we're eating, how much protein we're getting, etc. And having those things to kind of be able to track and handy dandy on the phone is that's really quite helpful, because I think in the old days, if I still had to carry around a notebook or something like that and try to do all that, that would have been overwhelming. Or if I had to wait until I got home and did it on the computer, that would be overwhelming. But having this on hand right on my phone is just really quite handy. Well, I think listening to you explain the program, and a lot of it made sense, and it was time to work on trying to give something a try. I mean, I think I kind of contemplated trying the medication, but didn't really feel like that was I didn't think that should be my first resort. So I wanted to try to see what I could do with you guys with the 3M approach and doing that. And then as I went on, I got to see some successes. So that was really nice. As the program, you keep working it works. In the past, I kind of had a defeatist attitude towards it and just kind of like, well, I like eating food and it's what I am. And I'm older and all that. I've lost close to 40 pounds, which is really quite significant. It's, at the school system, it's like almost a whole kid. But so that's nice. And so people have noticed and have, complimented me. But I feel better in that I am not ingesting as much food that really isn't good for me. So in the old days, I might gorge on carbs at lunchtime, something with a milkshake. And then by 2 o'clock, I'm like, and now that I'm more cognizant of my proteins and I'm deliberately prioritizing protein and watching my fats, I've been feeling better physically. I don't think I was expecting as much in the way of community, and the group calls plus our dedicated Facebook page has been a great way to kind of encourage each other and just kind of build each other up. So that part has been really nice. Another thing that was really nice, that when I was going through COVID last week, you and I were messaging each other on the app, and you were giving me some sage advice and some encouragement as I was, in bed and not doing much. And the fact that you have been honest about these things and say, yep, there's, we don't necessarily work out through the pain, so to speak. It's about taking care of ourselves. And that you have that sensible real world approach is really nice. I think a lot of it too, thinking about this, is learning to appreciate that not only do I need to show up for others, I have to show up for myself, because there's things you can't do, other people can't do for you. I can't I can't contract this out. Would that I could contract that out, or things like that. And it's something I was sharing with students today. And it's like, I can't, we're preparing for some testing next week. And it's like, I can't take the test for you. I can give you strategies, but you've got to do the work. I can't do it for you. There's things we got to do for ourselves in taking care of ourselves. And I think we often feel like we're not supposed to care about taking care of ourselves. But if we want to truly be there for our families and for our communities or whatever, we got to kind of take care of ourselves. Being more cognizant of what I'm eating. So looking at the macros that we're talking about, the balance of the proteins, the fat, and the carbs, and knowing how those should be in balance and having something to track that. And every day I track and see how much I'm using, and I budget around that. So thinking about what I'm eating more cognizantly. I'm not like on a natural food, whatever, and I only eat lettuce or anything like that. Make decisions based more on what do I need and what do I really want versus what do I kind of think I want. So there's a lot of food that I thought I wanted, but I didn't really want it. Take the plunge and think about how investing in yourself is important for when you invest in others. We tend to think of not investing in ourselves as being important. Investing in your health and your well-being is better than having to invest in doctors or whatever kind of medication that one might have, or if you're pushing the point where you're pushing towards being diabetic, it's better to see if you can have this balanced approach and take care of yourself rather than paying. You're going to have to pay somewhere. So how are you going to pay? And I think too, it's like in my own case, part of this is like lowering my cholesterol. This is the kind of thing that, helping my own health, and it's been one of the nice things is by doing this, other people have benefited too. So if I am eating, because like many women, I'm the one who shops and cooks. So if I'm shopping and cooking more strategically, because I've learned this, then other people in the family benefit. So I've joked that my husband's had some secondhand weight loss because this whole thing with, because we're both, working on the proteins and being cognizant of how we take care of our bodies. These are both, not kids anymore. I think the accountability and the support system is important for, achieving success, because I know that you're watching, kind of like Santa, I guess, but you're watching, and I know that, and that kind of helps me know I can reach out to somebody for when I'm, have questions, or when I'm not feeling it and I want to gorge on cookies, or but also to, I know that with the community, it's keeping each other accountable and encouraging each other. And that kind of thing is tremendously helpful. I have a friend of mine who's working on another program, which is just app-based and not it's free to her, but I'm not sure she's getting quite the same level of support. So yeah, I'm spending more money, but she's not getting the same level of support. I'm not feel like she's getting the same level of accomplishments. Actually, if I reach out to you on the app, I hear from you within a day, if not within an hour. It's just, and even when you're sick in bed, you're you're doing it on your computer, which you shouldn't necessarily have to do. But nonetheless, it's been, you've been very responsive. So people have been responsive in our Facebook page. People are very responsive. We share an idea or we ask a question or something like that. So like today, somebody was asking about go-to food for breakfasts, and we were all chiming in. I don't think I'd be perfect every day, but as a life rule, this would be something I could continue to do, using the app, reading the labels, keeping track of what I'm eating, exercising, working out 3 to 4 times a week, which is like 20-30 minute workouts, usually 30 minutes because I'm not the quickest person in the world. Walking, which is something I do anyway and like to do. So keeping those things I think can be integrated and prioritized in my life on a continuing basis. I don't always think of it, okay, am I going to do this for the rest of my life? I can do it next day. So there's a certain level of day by day. Can I do it tomorrow? Yes, I can. And sometimes that's what we need to think about is, can I do this tomorrow? If I did not do well today, like I Christmased on Christmas, I'll record more or less, but I didn't tell you every single cookie I ate because that would have been a very long list. But I had a really nice dinner. I've been fed by my niece earlier, and it was just like, but last year I probably would have Christmased for 2.5 weeks. Now that didn't mean I didn't enjoy treats here and there, but I decide, okay, how much of this am I going to eat given the budget for today? But I budget it and I think out what do I really want to eat, as opposed to just feeling like I need to eat it because it's there. And it's like, okay, I Christmased or something,
Right.
then there's the next day. So you get back into it and just kind of have it be a regular part of your life that you you're making conscious decisions about what you eat and conscious decisions about how your exercise, and keep this good self-talk going, and have other people who will also encourage you by saying you can keep going. That I think is important. Thank you for all you do, Narette.